Boy, oh boy. We got biblical gender roles to talk about, and I know every single one of you loves biblical gender roles. Every single time we cover him, he is just an unending well of entertaining stupidity. Every single time. So, let's go ahead and get right into that after we get into the fan art section. First piece of fan art we have here is from me not clicking on the right thing. It's from Call Me Queer. Tried to make a sort of creepy Suris. Didn't come out as intended. Hope you still enjoyed at least. Oh, I do enjoy it. You know what this makes me think of? Remember the episodes of Courage the Cowardly Dog that had cats? Hello, I'm Cats. Welcome to the Cats Motel. This is the vibe I get. This is the vibe I get. Like an adorable murderous bean. Also, the next one here is from A1 Golden Runner. Hi, Suris. I've been watching your videos for a very long time. I'm currently at the lowest point in my life, but I decided to make some fan art as a thanks for helping me smile through the tears. I truly appreciate all the laughter and inspiration you've given me over the years, and I hope you're doing well. Well, I hope things improve for you, Golden Runner. If you need an ear, just remember that my DMs are open for everybody. The next one we have is from Robotic Kitty. Alrighty, I drew a summer Suris. I experimented a lot with this piece. The background is simple because I could not think of a background. Well, with the sky like that, leading down here, it almost looks like I'm on a beach, which is perfect. Also, this piece is adorable. I really, really want to do, like, this outfit here. I would really love to have this outfit as one that I could use normally. Because it looks almost like the autumn outfit that Remixin designed, but with, like, with the front undone. It's just adorable. But as always, everybody, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. With that all said, let's go ahead and get right into BGR. His article, Real Men Do Cry Sometimes. Is this going to be the fabled article where I agree with biblical gender roles? Nah, probably not. Let's see how this goes. So the fuck is BGR? It's Larry, owner of the website Biblical Gender Roles. That's what it is. Find God's purpose for your life in your gender. You know. It sounds like a false narrative. Well, let's find out. On the far left, we hear, quote, progressive Christian teachers telling men that they need to get more in touch with their feminine sides. They literally encourage men to act more like women, including crying more like women do. However, on the far right, we actually have some masculinity teachers telling men it is unmasculine to cry or shed a tear. Ever. Some far-right masculinity teachers who claim men should not cry will say that if they do cry, it should never be in front of women, and especially their wives. They even shame men for crying at the funeral of departed loved ones, their weddings, or the birth of their children. But both sides are wrong. Oh, okay. Let's see how this one goes. How are we both siding this one? How is the enlightened centrist, Larry the Moose, going to help us with this one? The far left is wrong in saying that men should allow themselves to express their emotions more, as well as their fears and concerns, just as women do. In several passages below, the Bible actually insults men by saying they are acting like women. Then the Bible's misogynist. I don't know what to tell you. What more do you want from me than that's just misogyny? Like, okay, if your insult to somebody is that's like a woman, then you automatically think that being a woman is something insulting. Now, you may try to avoid this insinuation by going, no, I don't find that insulting. I don't find it insulting to be a woman. I find it insulting to do womanly things as a man. But why? Is there something inherently better about being a guy than a girl that makes you have that opinion? No, I think it's bad when women do boyish things as well. Okay, but why? Like, there's no hierarchy here, then. There's just special pleading and double standards and nothing that can actually work out coherently at all. But let's keep going here. In the passage below, the Bible insults men by saying they're acting like women.
The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might hath failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken.
Neat, I guess. Like, I don't... So here's the thing. When your entire philosophy, when every single ounce of your being relies completely on the sole idea that the Bible is the end-all be-all, you never ask yourself the question, but why did the Bible say that? You never do. You never do. Piranha Studio says, the moment I actually return, I hear this bullshit. Where is the nearest cliff I can jump off from? Also, hi. You have to ask yourself, why was that written there? Because what Larry likes to do, Larry likes to grab Bible passages and just throw them up there to support his arguments so that he can have his variety of misogynistic child marriages arguments. All the arguments for the most heinous things you can think of. And just support them with, but the Bible told me it was okay. But the Bible told me it's okay. Is it maybe understandable that people in a different time had a more negative view on women? I mean, even in America, the suffragette movement was done because women did not have equal rights to work, did not have equal rights to vote, did not have equal rights in the household. Hagen, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Like, that was not that long ago. We still have issues like the glass ceiling to look at when it comes to women in the workplace. We still have a lower propensity of women and minorities in CEO positions because a lot of these positions tend to favor hiring men in. We see a lower amount in representation in these areas despite there being an equal amount of men and women. And it's not because men and women are different types of risk takers. A lot of it comes down to the way that we view women culturally, the way that we've acted towards women culturally over the years. Setting different types of expectations on them, having different sets of rules that apply to them, things like that. So, when you try to do this bullshit, basically, of going, this book that was written 2,000 years ago said that men were meek because they're like women. During that time, women were considered to be more meek in most societies that the Bible covers in its stories. They were considered the meeker of the two genders in most biblical stories. That was the common thing for authors to write down during those days. It doesn't mean that women were actually weaker. It just means that that's how people viewed them back then. It is perhaps a little dumb to look at those stories as not informing our present, but what we should be dictating our present upon when they were written in a completely different time, era, and by people with different mentalities than people that exist today. And again, the only argument for why this should be the norm, as opposed to what we currently experience with more equal rights across the board, is that the Bible says it, therefore it's true. It's God's words, therefore it's never changing, despite, again, evidence within the Bible of God's mentality changing from the Old to the New Testament. Weird, that. Weird, that. But let's go ahead and take a look at further. It then says in Jeremiah,
In that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear, because...
I'm not going to read the rest of it. I'm going to ask you a question. Why should being a woman mean being afraid? Why is that a thing we're going to advocate for, Larry? Do you think women should be afraid by and large in the modern era? Do you think that's a thing that we should encourage? Really? Is that where you're at? Is that what you think? Because I'm going to be honest. That confuses me a little bit. You can't hide behind, think about the Stretch Piranha Studios. You can't just hide behind, well, the Bible did it, so it's okay. You have to ask yourself, why is it okay for that to be a thing that is expected now? Why do we want women to fear? Why do we want them to be afraid? And then it goes on further in Isaiah.
Behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women. The gates of the land shall be set upon unto thy...
Oh my God. This sounds like non-con. This sounds like non-con. The people guarding your gates are women. We're gonna open your gates right now. Giggity. Then it's Nahum 3.
Rather than acting more like women,
oh, wait, no, he didn't. This one's not in quotation marks. I'm dumb.
Be on the alert, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong.
Okay, cool. Remember, the Bible considered slavery, genocide, and child marriage A-okay. Yep. He then goes, my point here is that the Bible makes it very clear that men are to have greater control over their emotions than women do. I'm going to go ahead and make a point that everybody should have better control over their emotions, period. I don't think this should be a gendered thing. I think it should be okay for a guy to cry. It should be okay for a guy to get frustrated. It should be okay for a guy to be in a group of his friends and to let himself spill out. I've had to do it. Hell, I had a moment where I was in the car with one of my friends and just things in life were frustrating me so absolutely much that I just broke. And I think that's okay. It's okay to be overwhelmed. It's okay to have these emotions. It's okay to have reactions to having human emotions. But then we come to the other extreme. We have far-right masculinity teachers claiming that men should never shed a tear, even at the death of a loved one, and certainly not in the presence of women. The problem with this teaching is that such a teaching would condemn the manliest man who ever lived, Jesus Christ. He was so manly, he got nailed by a bunch of Romans. Real Chad behavior. Just gonna go ahead and say that. Look, I actually agree with BGR on this one. I think that the idea that men shouldn't cry and the idea that people should be less like Jesus, the Jesus that's actually portrayed in the Bible, I think is dumb. But also, if I were to go from a Christian perspective, I would simply argue that it's good for people to give away free healthcare. You know, like Jesus. Shrum Studios, thank you for the follow. Goes on to point out, in John, the Bible said Jesus wept, and in Luke, the Bible says, and when he has come near, he beheld the city and wept over it. The Bible passages we have shown just prove that both extremes on this issue of men crying are wrong. So Jesus cried and also the Bible's misogynist. Okay. Should men cry as often as women? Of course not. Oh, what's the metric? Should women be allowed to cry for like 20% of their lives and men should only be allowed to cry for 10% of their lives? Like, where's the... How are we measuring this? How are we doing that? Why are we measuring this? The Bible shames men for acting like women in any fashion, and crying a lot is a feminine trait, not a masculine one. This reads to me like one of those tweets. Like, if a guy is running around with a bottle of water all the time, I don't want him. Real feminine trait right there. Like, fellas, is it girly to stay hydrated? Have you seen that tweet? Have you guys seen that tweet? It's an insane one. It is an insane one. Fellas, is it gay to... Yeah, no, it... It is gay. Thank you for the hydrate, Clueless Expert. Fine, I'll be gay with my water bottle real quick. R2, do you is effin'? What? Fellas, is it gay to have emotions? Red Joker being all like, hydrate, you woman! BGR accidentally based. He got halfway there. And then goes, however, the scriptures do tell us in Ecclesiastes 3:4 that there is a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. There is no shame in a man shedding tears of sorrow at the death of a friend or a family member. There is no shame in a man shedding tears at his wedding as he exchanges vows with his bride or at the birth of his children. But if you do it at any other place, Tristan Timothy Taylor will beat the shit out of you. And no amount of card game expertise will save you. Deep throat the water bottle? Okay. Jesus Christ. It's like, you get halfway there, buddy. You get halfway there, and then you just drop the ball, and there are no comments on it. There used to be comments on his stuff. I used to be able to see comments on his stuff. Does he just not have an audience anymore? Piranha Studios says, if a guy is running around with a hoodie, I don't want him. Real feminine trait there. Jesus Christ. Anyway, that's BGR. A shorter BGR article than usual. I remember when these used to take me like an hour and a half. Hit the like button if you haven't already, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know what you think about all of his shenanigery nonsense in the comment section below. And as always, insert in the video tagline here.